Hey guys, it is just Chillin
with Jeremy and Cullen.
And today we are reviewing Joker. Now you have clicked on this video, so you know this is the spoiler-free one.
Mm-hmm.
We will be releasing a spoiler-filled one probably
soon.
As soon as possible.
When it's edited.
Yes. So,
just a quick disclaimer, because a lot of the movie deals with mental illness. We don't know a lot about mental illness, and anything we say is just our thoughts on it. We're not trying to make assumptions of mental illness. We're not trying to make fun of mental illness. We're just saying our thoughts.
So, onto the review-ish, because now we are covering the controversy... the controversy that is surrounding this film. Now, there has been, as I'm sure you've heard, a whole crap ton of controversy, considering very serious stuff as mass shootings and things like that, which obviously are not to be made fun of or are not to be condoned in any way. And people say that this film is, but I think that's overlooking the powerful message that this film is trying to show, is that our world can be creating these people. It's not condoning it. It's more of a warning sign of this is how dark the world can get, and this is how dark the world is getting. So, with that out of the way, all the sad stuff.
Can I talk about controversy?
Sure.
So yeah, like Cullen said, it was a lot less than critics anticipated. I was expecting a lot worse of violence.
Yeah, there's... I think
they hyped up the violence too much.
Yes, now, the violence that happens in this film is very disturbing. But it's disturbing for a reason, because it's a warning of what our society can become.
Yes.
So, that is the huge point of the story, and I think it is being overlooked.
Yeah, and like Cullen said, I feel like the movie is showing that our society can create these people, and that there are people out there like this. Maybe not to this high extent, but there are people that suffer from mental illness. There are people that have suffered from mental illness, that have killed people, that have...
And there are people that suffer from mental illness that just don't get the help that they need, and that's another thing that this film is about. And so,
I do understand a little bit, though, why they were saying that, because I guess someone, if they had, really bad mental illness and they did see this, I don't know, maybe they could get some thoughts. But but then why would they show them that?
And then also another thing is they would just find another outlet to inspire them. I don't feel it should be on the director or screenwriter who's creating their own art to be restricted by some fear of somebody with already mentally unstable background. I don't feel like it's their responsibility. I feel it's the responsibility of the people in the world generally, and to help these people, like the film is saying. So now, is that all you wanted to say?
Basically, that was it about the controversy. So now we're moving on to the script, and you can take it from here.
The script for this film, as I'm sure if you've seen other reviews you have heard, is phenomenal. As far as the script itself goes, I don't think there was any problems with the script. I might have a few little things,
but that's itty bitty.
It's
critique.
It's extreme nitpicking as to what our problems could be. So the script was written by Todd Phillips and Scott Silver. And as far as I'm concerned, these guys are amazing. The level of depth into the character that we delve into, and the reasoning and the motivation of all these characters, it's very complex and subtle, and it's genius.
I would say that too. and it's just it was just amazing.
It was.
Like, the script was written in a way. The whole movie is just a guy. He was already mentally unstable or mentally ill, but he in the beginning he wasn't horrible. He was just a guy that suffered from mental illness, and he suffers from the I'm not sure what it's called, but he suffers from the illness where you laugh uncontrollably when you get either like sad, upset, or uncomfortable.
Yeah, in stressful situations, the person tends to laugh. And it's not even necessarily a laugh. It's probably just, it's a condition that creates a similar sound.
Yeah.
I don't really know what it is, so I can't really speak for that.
Mm-hmm. But the whole script it's him becoming a slightly mentally ill person, and then going through little changes, where certain events just cause him to become crazier and crazier and crazier until one thing just sets him off. And then that's when he becomes pretty much the Joker.
Yeah. So we won't get into too much more detail about the script because we do want to keep this movie a surprise. We don't want to spoil anything
because it was such a great experience.
It was very good. Mm-hmm. And so with that, I think we should move on and really try not to. Sure, yeah.
A lot of the script, what I recognize in the movie is that there wasn't a lot of dialogue. A lot of it was. I don't know what's the difference in dialogue. It's like,
I mean, it's a lot of the camera shot and the acting showing the emotion, and it's the classic quote of "show don't tell."
I think it's just amazing how they did such a good movie with such little dialogue. They don't need conversation to take the movie forward.
Yeah. What they do is rather than rely on the dialogue to tell you how they feel or to show what's happening. What they do is they treat you with intelligence, and what they do is they will show you it naturally. And if dialogue would happen in real life, that's when the dialogue would happen. But if somebody wouldn't say something, they wouldn't say it in this film. It's amazing. It's amazing.
There's no other words to describe it.
It's just...
The critics were right. It's a masterpiece.
However, the critics do, on Rotten Tomatoes, I think it might be in the 60. It might be like 68% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Really? I thought it was 100, to be honest.
No, it is not. Okay, so we have now gotten to the point where we've searched it up, and it is not 68. It then went up to 69, and then it went to a 70. And right now it is sitting at a 70% with the critics and a 93% with the audience, which I think really shows the divide between a lot of critics and the fans today. And just, I think it's I feel like the critics were doing it out of fear of what could happen.
Why do you think some of the critics disliked it? Because I have my idea.
I think they're very afraid of the press that's been going around, and I think they're overlooking the message almost. So I feel like the critics are almost like they're saying like this could make somebody go out and kill somebody, which I guess in some twisted scenario where somebody does happen to get inspired by this. And it is true, it can happen.
But it's very slight.
It's rare for this kind of stuff to inspire it consistently.
It's like how people were talking about, video games cause violence, which topic we're not going to get into, but it just relates to that.
Yeah, it's like, it's not the movie or it's not the video game, it's the person or the environment that they're put into and forced to live in that causes the person to be the way that they are. And the movie or video game is just another part of the equation.
Another reason why I think it's less, and you did bring this up, is that it's not the comic Joker. It's nothing.
Not.
It's not okay. It's not nothing like it. But
the director and script writer, obviously they looked into and studied the Joker and found their own way to twist the Joker into this thing that they wanted for their film, which I completely understand. And it's a valid it's a valid version of the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not the comic Joker.
But I find no problem with that.
Yeah.
I find completely no problem with that.
Just like Heath Ledger wasn't the comic Joker, although Heath Ledger was more comic Joker than this Joker.
Than Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah. So, I think that's it as far as the script goes.
The director.
Todd Phillips, once again, he also wrote the script. And so, the director, Todd Phillips, who had directed films such as The Hangover.
Didn't know that.
This is his first serious film, and I gotta say, I think he nailed it with flying colors.
Hit it out of the park. Can we do that again? Hit it out. Hit it out of the park.
It's gonna be like a random cut, and it's gonna be like obviously was planned. But anyway, he was amazing. Now there was like maybe like one scene where I think like one little part lasted maybe a little bit too long,
but that's just like it's just nitpicking.
It is really nitpicking. It's like maybe that could have been cut down by like a few seconds or something, and it's like it's really because you want to find something and be like, well, see, I'm not just praising it.
Yeah, you just want to find like a little something, and that's why you nitpick. But also, a lot of the stuff in the movie, I think Cullen and I would look at, and we would say like, oh, why is this? Like, we would be iffy about it. But then further in the movie, it would be explained.
Yeah,
and it would be like foreshadowing, and that's why they did like it was just such a good job.
Yeah. Okay, and so as far as that, I think he did an amazing job.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what else. I definitely know I couldn't have done better.
I mean, have you seen my horror movie?
Okay, and so I mean, he did amazing, and he obviously knew what he was doing. I do feel like
there's no other way to say it. It's amazing. Like it. Oh my god. Well, at the very end, I'll compare to other movies and see and like our overall rating, and like we'll say like compare to others how much we liked it. Yeah. But for now, we're gonna talk about the cinematography.
The cinematography in this film was phenomenal. I don't know how much of it was the director and how much of it was the cinematographer, but I do want to give credit to the cinematographer, who was Lawrence Sher.
Sher.
It's Lawrence, but then it's Sher. So I just want to give credit to him because if he helped in any way to make these shots, then he deserves the credit that he gets.
And I enjoyed them a lot.
Yeah, I mean these shots are beautiful, and every shot is in there for a reason. Everything's shot the way it is for a reason. There's not a single shot that somebody was just like, we can just get away with doing this, and it'll be fine.
And a lot of the shots that Cullen and I both liked were just simple shots.
Yeah, it could be the most simplest thing, like sitting on a bus or something, and then somebody's like, oh, that shot's amazing.
Yep, I did that. It was really just, I don't want to, well, it's not really a spoiler. He was just like sitting on the subway. And it was just like a shot of him sitting like in the very back, and it was just like it just looked it looked beautiful. Like
it was great. It was complex in its simplicity, and I know that sounded super pretentious, but oh well. They did amazing, and the lighting in this film was
the lighting was awesome.
Beautiful, and the color grading and the costume design and all of these people deserve massive praise because they all accomplished something and worked with the director so well, and the director worked with them so well to create this film that really is, I mean, it goes beyond the normal comic book film that we have nowadays. And
because stereotypical comic book film, superpowers, flying, lasers, like
and
space
the MCU films. Yeah. I mean, I love them. I love them a lot.
But they're stereotypical.
They tend to have a produced feeling to it, while this one very much felt like this person had a vision and they wanted to make that vision come true. And it just, everybody involved really just made this into something special where, I mean, it's like somebody found the chance and realized how serious these comic book characters can be taken, and they took it seriously, and they just made a beautiful film with what they had. And so, is there anything else that you want to say?
The shots were amazing, and during the movie, I kept poking Cullen. I was like, I love that shot.
Yeah, he did.
I also did it to Jack.
Maybe don't use his full name. Shout out to Jack. Next section.
Drink.
Next section, we have the actors and actresses. Now, before we get into it, I just want to say everybody in this film was perfect. Mm-hmm. I mean, there was not a single scene where I thought that person didn't feel natural
or fit the role,
or nobody felt like they were acting. You just saw the character, and no matter how small the role, you felt the passion behind each actor. I mean, it could be so much as a little cameo, and it's just that person gives it their all. So, of course, there's no other person to start the actor section with other than Joaquin Phoenix playing Arthur Fleck / the Joker.
So, there's no other way to say it. He did such an incredible job.
He did.
Would you say Oscar worthy?
I would. Okay, see,
because people say Robert Downey Jr. deserved an Oscar for Endgame. I 100% think that Joaquin Phoenix deserves it more for Joker.
The problem is, it's like Robert Downey Jr., what he did was he embodied this role for outside and inside for 10 years. And what Joaquin did was one film. And I feel they're being nominated. They haven't even been nominated yet, but
I feel like
being pushed for these best lead actors for two completely different reasons. And I think they both, I feel like they both deserve it, but I do have to say, Joaquin Phoenix, what he does is he plays someone entirely different from himself.
Because Robert Downey Jr., he's playing Tony Stark, who he does resemble out, like, in his real life. Yeah. Joaquin Phoenix is playing a mentally ill person. Joaquin Phoenix is not...
he, at the very least, he doesn't have any serious mental health issues. That we know about. Yes, obviously, we don't know his personal life.
But not as much as in the movie.
Yeah. So he embodies somebody different from himself.
Like, I never in the movie I thought, he's acting here. You believe that he has this illness. It just embodies him.
It just happens. Like, all of a sudden, you just see the character. And so, while Robert Downey Jr. did an amazing job in his 10 years, I personally do think Joaquin Phoenix does deserve that Oscar over Robert.
So, moving back on to Joaquin Phoenix, basically it.
Yeah.
You could talk for him about his performance for hours and hours, but it would just pretty much be the same thing that he is an Oscar-worthy performance.
Especially in a non-spoiler review.
Yeah, especially. It's hard, but, of course, if you watch the spoiler talk, you'll get
more.
And yeah.
On to the next character, I guess. What?
You can always have more, and more is always a good thing.
Maybe not all the time.
More is sometimes a good thing.
On to the next person. Robert De Niro playing Murray Franklin.
And
the host.
Yes. If you I just realized the trailers don't give away a lot of the characters except for Arthur.
It showed that he was the host of it.
Yeah, but if someone just saw the trailers and you said Murray Franklin, then they're not gonna.
Okay, well, his name is Murray Franklin. That's Robert De Niro's character.
He's a host of sort of like SNL, sort of.
No.
Not it's just a talk show host.
Yeah, he's a talk show host.
That's and kind of can't really give away what he does in the movie, but
but we saw in the trailer. We saw, he made fun of him on the talk show
because he performed
in the club really poorly, and so that's just like a little part of his character.
That like he's part of the thing that sets him off, basically.
Yeah. So I mean, we can't really go into much more detail than that. I mean, we can't really talk much about this character. I think he did a really good job.
He didn't have like much.
I mean, most of these
he didn't
characters...
have like a big plate where like he had like not like Joaquin where he had to play a person that with mental illness. He was playing a talk show host.
Yeah. Basically, all the rest of these people, they don't really like, they aren't in it that much.
Like Joaquin Phoenix is
he's in like every scene.
every shot. Like he's in it.
Almost every shot, but I'm pretty sure every single scene. I don't think there's a single scene that Joaquin Phoenix isn't in.
Yes.
So
you just want to move in? Let's do them quickly.
Yeah, let's just get these out of the way. Not to like
go fast,
undermine them,
but like Joaquin Phoenix is the whole movie,
and especially without going into spoilers, you just can't discuss much. So next up, and I got this list from IMDb, so I'm going in that order, and I'm assuming it's based on billing. So next is Zazie Beetz.
Zazie Beetz.
She is playing Sophie Demond,
which is the love interest.
Which has been said is the love interest of the film. And so
can't go much into talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to spoil anything at all. Like, so there's not much to the character. I mean, she's good and she's there. It's like
because she plays someone in Gotham.
Yeah,
that has dealt with all these crimes, all the mayhem. Yeah, and she embraces it. Like there's not much more.
Yeah, she's there. It's she's there.
She's there.
I mean, I don't know if embrace is the right word, but like she's just going by through her life, just trying to get
there
by.
was nothing wrong.
Yeah,
there was nothing amazing.
Like
she was just here.
Yeah, and she's just trying to get through her life. So she did an amazing job. Okay. I mean, like, there wasn't anything that, like, stood out, like, oh my gosh, because it really is about Joaquin Phoenix. Then...
Next, we want to move on?
Yeah, I think that's it for that character. Next we have Frances Conroy, I guess. Francais.
I'm guessing Francis.
It's spelled like, France with an S at the end.
Yeah.
And she played Penny Fleck,
which is
Arthur's mother. Yes.
Yeah.
And
I feel like we're repeating it, but like we can't go much into it.
Yeah,
But also, you can see in the trailer that she's sick.
Yeah.
She ends up in the hospital.
Yeah.
So she doesn't really have a big role.
I mean, she has a big role
for him,
but like, yeah, for Joaquin Phoenix, not necessarily a big role in terms of scenes and things like that. She did good. She did well. Grammary. So I mean, she was there. She did a great job with what she had, what she was doing.
She was pretty much playing.
She served the purpose.
Well, I'm gonna whisper something in the comment. I just want to make sure it's not a spoiler.
It wasn't like outright confirmed.
Okay. But so you can tell that she's ill, she's weak, and basically, Arthur has to care for her.
Yeah.
And basically be her source of income.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's basically it for the character. I mean,
like she contributes to him becoming Joker, like
in her own specific ways. I mean, we won't go any more into that than that. I feel.
So let's move on to oh my God, that's your name!
Woo! Okay, Brett Cullen is playing Thomas Wayne in this film, and Thomas Wayne, when compared to the comics, was just a real jerk in this film. And I mean, you could tell when he like punches Arthur when he punches Arthur,
Yeah.
I mean, you can just see he's a very aggressive person, and
He's a politician.
he's going out for mayor, and he has a very powerful line. And when I say powerful, it's not that I agree with him, but it's that like it becomes a huge like event to Joaquin, like something that he has to cope with.
Yeah.
And he uses it to his advantage.
We're saying
almost.
Joaquin, like we mean Arthur.
We mean Arthur.
So if we say Joaquin, we mean like Arthur in the movie.
Yeah. I mean, you don't want to go much more into that than that because you don't want to spoil anything. And we
like basically all the side characters contribute to him slightly becoming more insane.
Yeah.
So basically, all share the same purpose, and all the actors did a great job.
Yeah.
I mean, like we'll still go each individually. Like, anything more about Thomas Wayne?
I don't really think so. I think we can move on to I will group these two people together. We have She Wingham, I guess.
She Wingham.
And Bill Camp.
In the trailer, they are detectives.
She plays Detective Burke, and Bill plays Detective Garrity.
And they're the people that's shown in the trailer where he's like holding up a gun in the subway full of clowns. Yeah.
So I mean, really, you don't want to say anything more than that.
But they don't have
it wasn't like
huge
major roles. It like they were once again they were important, but not important in the way like they were in a ton of scenes.
And then the last person,
Glenn Fleshler,
which is
Randall, which you guys don't know. You probably don't know who that is if you haven't seen.
We don't really say anything about it, but yeah,
he was Randall. He did well.
Yeah.
I mean, really, this character is literally just a spoiler. Like, himself is it's like you say anything about him and it's kind of a spoiler.
So that's basically it for the actors.
Yeah, I mean there were more, and I'm sorry if I didn't put your name on here, but
they're not gonna be watching. You think Joaquin's gonna be watching, going, man?
No, but
I'm sorry I didn't put your name on here.
I just want to say I'm sorry for anybody. I mean, I don't care. I just feel I should say sorry.
What if we get on the Murray Franklin show?
Wow. I feel the other characters were more, you literally couldn't say anything unless if it were like a spoiler. So we
don't want to go much into it, but if you do stay for the spoiler talk, you'll learn more about it.
Wow, true.
Yeah.
So now we are on to the final thoughts.
So, final thoughts on the movie. I'll let you go first because I'll maybe respond.
Okay.
But you have the floor.
Wow. Okay. So, final thoughts. Overall, we thought the film was great. I mean, you heard all of our thoughts. And I mean, when I say near perfect, I literally mean it's probably the closest to perfect film is probably currently going to get. As far as I've seen, it's the closest to perfect film that I have seen. Mm-hmm. And it's very tight and it's just well made in every regard. And so
gotta fix my boy.
I mean, I guess now we'd be on to our rating of the film.
You don't want to say any more final thoughts?
I mean, what else is there? I mean, I feel
that's
like
what I meant. Well, final thoughts is like rating.
Yeah. So onto our rating. I think we both have the same number rating. It is a 10 out of 10. I mean, how could you say it's anything but that? I mean, unless if you are like
you know what I would give it? A 3,000 out of 10.
Wrong movie.
Speaking of 3,000 out of 10, how would you say you liked it based on Endgame?
Okay, so here's the thing. We should give you some context in case you haven't heard us discuss it anywhere else. Endgame, and now I know I'm aware that Endgame does have some faults, but it's such a momentous film and huge film to history, really. I feel that it is a 10 out of 10, and it is up there. And so the problem for me is always finding out Like, because
The movie?
Episode 5,
Yeah.
Star Wars Episode 5 is up there for me as well. Star Wars Episode 5, and then Endgame, and then we have Joker and, like, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Infinity War.
And Infinity War is not up there. I mean, it's a 10 out of 10, but I wouldn't...
Yeah.
These are mine.
So what would you say compared to those? Like,
and Joker, I think I'd have to put it above Spider-Verse, for sure.
Yeah.
And the only problem with me is, like, Joker was an amazing film, but I don't think it will have as much of an impact as, say, Endgame or Star Wars
also,
did.
How about we talk about it as a movie, not as an event? Because Endgame was such a big event. It had 22 movies? Or 21?
22, I think.
Okay, well, 20-so movies behind it, carrying it. This movie had nothing. The only thing it had was the Joker name. And of course that's going to bring an audience, but it's just one origin story.
Yeah.
So, and I would say, for my final thoughts, I would say it was a 10 out of 10 movie. It was amazing. As Cullen said, close near perfect. Like, as you said, it's nitpicking. Like, little things. So, I would say 10 out of 10. And as a movie, I would say it's definitely one of my favorites.
It's definitely, without a doubt, top 3 favorite movies for me.
It may be number 1, I'm not sure. Because at the top, you guys, I know people disagree with me. I have Infinity War above Endgame, just for certain reasons. They're close, but I just have Infinity War above it. So I would say Infinity War and Joker are very close. Because for me, Infinity War had less errors than Endgame. Would you agree with me on that?
I don't know.
Okay.
I feel like
another time to talk about it.
That's a different topic.
But I would say that and Infinity War are tied. And then so I would say it's better than Endgame, to be honest, as a movie. I'm not saying I enjoyed watching it more than Endgame,
because it's also hard to say, like, with Joker, it's hard to say you enjoyed watching the film.
Yeah, because it's disturbing. I just want to say, if just forewarning, like, yes, it is disturbing. There are gory scenes, there are disturbing scenes. The whole movie's disturbing, even, like, in the beginning, where it's just little things, like, I found it disturbing.
Yeah.
And I don't find a lot of things disturbing.
Yeah, I'm not, like, one of those people who are, like, who gets disturbed or offended by a lot of things. I mean, I really am not like that. But this film does,
disturb you.
It disturbs you in just how real it can be, and
it's not even like gory, like, say It Chapter 2. Like gore. I mean, it's not like gore where you're like, oh my god. It's emotional. You're just like wow.
And it's
like
this
is
so real.
This can be real.
Yeah. And so, I mean, when you take that all into consideration, I think as a film I would put it above Endgame, but I don't know if I could put it above Star Wars Episode 5.
I've seen one Star Wars movie.
So
Force Awakens.
Oh no. Okay. Well, at least it's better than The Last Jedi.
Yeah, at least that was something like that.
So 10 out of 10 movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that technically concludes the video.
And for the last recommendation, 100% see it. It is rated R. For reasons.
Okay, so
do you want to talk about how we got into the theater or no?
No.
It wasn't really a big deal.
I mean, so one thing I will say is and Grace Randolph said this as well, who is beyond the trailer. You don't know her.
Okay.
She's a YouTuber.
I know who she is.
Yeah.
I didn't know her name.
But I completely understand wanting to see this on DVD in the comfort of your home rather than in the theater on the big screen. Because it does make you so uncomfortable.
It was weird. Do you know? This isn't really a spoiler, but remember the one scene where it just has, like, I don't know, alarm going off? It was like a weird, like, buzzing alarm.
I think so, yeah.
When it went off, but it was, like, around the theater, I legit thought it was either, like, I guess, like, an escape alarm or a fire alarm, and, like, I got so scared. Because the film had me on edge.
Yeah, it's... So, I still suggest
seeing it.
That as many people see it. Obviously, kids know. Little kids know. Like, teenagers at a certain age, I definitely think should be able to watch this. But it's very disturbing to the point where maybe you do want to wait for it to come out on DVD and watch it in chunks.
Or watch it with certain people you feel comfortable with.
Yeah,
Movie night, bring the popcorn, bring the candy.
Yeah, just...
Bring the paper towel.
Paper towels, okay.
Bring the paper towels.
I mean,
it can get weird.
So just, I mean, it does make you uncomfortable, but I do suggest you see it. Especially if you're a DC Comics fan. I mean, if you're a movie fan, go see it. You don't need to see any other movies. You don't need to read any comics.
That's why it's so good that you don't have to watch 20 so other movies before watching this.
I mean, it stands on its own 100%. I mean, it's just its message.
And that's the thing with today. Those movies are the ones that are more popular. Endgame is a great movie, but that series that makes it so popular.
Yeah.
So like this Joker movie, yes, it's getting a lot of praise. It won't be top box office.
Yeah, no, it won't. But it definitely
deserves it. But maybe not top, but
it definitely deserves to make money because I feel like people need to see it. And I feel more films should be like this. And if it's not exactly like this, then at least a film that can stand on its own and that can genuinely be a film that makes you feel like it's a very personal story. Because Endgame, while it was personal to us because we've known these characters for so long, it was very processed. It felt very produced. And this film just felt real.
You want to end it there?
I think we'll end it there. Thank you guys for watching. Normal YouTube stuff. Like, share.
Like, share, comment.
Subscribe. Turn on that notification bell.
I hate doing this.
And we will hopefully see you in the spoiler talk after you watch the film or once it's released.
Or if you just want to watch it and don't care.
Maybe you're like, I suggest you don't.
Yeah, maybe you're like, I want to see it, but I'm not going to, so I'm just going to watch this.
And we're going to have timestamps for the spoiler review. So if it's more like, I want to see a certain aspect before I go to see it. So like something is particularly you're worried about it being too disturbing or something.
We'll also do timestamps for this because this is running about 40 minutes long. With editing, it'll probably be like 30, 40 something.
Yeah.
We'll put timestamps for this too and talk about where we talk about things.
So, I mean, if you just want to come back and revisit a certain thing, want to hear our opinions, obviously feel free to do so.
If you want to hear some opinions of professional reviewers.
Obviously, which is us.
Yeah.
So, that's it.
Yeah.
See you guys.
We don't even know how to finish this, do we?
No.
Wait. We have to do the... We can't cover up the camera, so we're going to cover up the mics. See you guys on Sunday.
What if it's not Sunday? See you guys some other time.